Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in. We have a great show. For you. And happy Father's Day to everyone here. Hope you had a safe and happy Father's Day. To my super chat, thank you so very much. Luke St. Martin, Eric H526, the two greatest moderators in all of YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to explain one reason, just right off the bat, one reason why President Trump is going to win on November 3rd, which will officially be the biggest, most monumental day in the history of the internet and of YouTube. Not just of YouTube, but of the internet. And I'm going to give you one reason right now. And it's not something that you can really see. It's not something that most people would give as a reason for President Trump winning. But you type in William Barr, and you get Fox News. William Barr hints at developments in Durham probe, says, this summer. So, developments in the Durham probe regarding people who obviously set up and framed Trump on a high to moderate confidence assessment with a Steele dossier literally purchased by the DNC and Madam Secretary, who will be nominee. So share my Times of Israel article below. Hillary Clinton, not Biden, will be nominee. And share my Huffington Post article, Hillary Clinton 2020 is a reality. Get ready for 8 years of President Trump. Thank God he's a great president. Signed the First Step Act. A huge achievement that he accomplished was a peace deal and negotiation that was signed to end America's longest-running military conflict in the history of our country. President Trump has set the groundwork to end Americans' involvement in our longest-running military conflict. Late February, early March. It's so amazing I can't really even talk about it on YouTube live stream. So check it out, because you say certain words, big problem. But we signed a deal with a certain organization that shall remain nameless, that's not part of YouTube guidelines to even bring up. And that's ending our involvement. That has reversed 20 years of U.S. foreign policy that needed to be reversed, or that has ended a very failed. It's really the legacy of the Bush administration that President Trump is ending. Jasher! Talk about Bill Barr and why he can't, New York Attorney General. Also poll bias. Happy Father's Day. Exactly, Jasher. The New York State prosecutor, Jasher, was forced to resign because he was basically... The Southern District is an extension of the Democratic Party. So maybe this man was... who knows? I mean, you focus so much on Giuliani, but not... If you focus on Giuliani, but not Biden, you have an issue as a prosecutor or as a district... The Southern District has an issue focusing only on Giuliani and Trump and never on Madam Secretary or Biden or anyone else. Or at least Bill and Hillary have a base of operations there. So it's funny, they did investigate their foundation in 2016, but they found nothing. Isn't that funny? And then the polls, of course, they're completely biased. Not only is President Trump in the driver's seat to win, I will have called this election just like I did in 2015 when NPR quoted me. But Jasher, I'm going to get to that in 1 second. Thank you so much, Jasher. Thank you. Thank you, Jasher. But you get Fox News, Barr hints at developments in Durham probe. Then you get CNN, New York, Southern District prosecutor leaving immediately after standoff with Trump. Then you get Wall Street Journal, Trump administration move disrupts U.S. Attorney Office in Manhattan. So you have two investigations, and you have one guy who was forced out of government. President Trump, William Barr, they're doing things. They're accomplishing. They're setting they're achieving objectives. They have to find out how they were set up. And, well, the Durham probe is finding out. We already know how they were set up and framed. But the Durham probe is finding the intent that James Clapper and Brennan and Comey and Strzok and McCabe, all the people who had endless anti-Trump text messages among themselves, and all the people who are now pundits for CNN and MSNBC and who get published in the Washington Post and New York Times. All the objective people. All the really objective people. But one reason, ladies and gentlemen, you got to look at it from a bird's eye view. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to look at it from the vantage point of what is the media, what do media and Democrats have over Trump, and what is Trump doing, and what are they disregarding? So if you ask the media, they couldn't be bothered with the Durham probe. It's just nonsense. But it's a monumental, it's the basis for Trump, Russia, and Madam Secretary's, nomination again. It's the basis for Hillary Clinton 2020. Biden ain't going to be nominee. It's going to be Hillary Clinton. But the past 4 years has been about Trump possibly working with Russia, and then Trump trying to interfere in the election with the Ukraine, and all that stuff. And Barr is taking care of that. John Durham is taking care of that. You have a prosecutor forced out because he was only focused on Trump and completely oblivious, like all the other prosecutors in the Southern District, to anything Democrats do. AOC being an example. Okay, you had former Federal Election Commission officials talking about. You had FEC commissioners, former commissioners, talking about campaign finance violations from the Congresswoman, and of course, nobody is being investigated. So they only focus one way. They're not. This is it's so highly politicized. It's unbelievable. But then, what do you get? So Trump, William Barr, President Trump, he had a rally with thousands of people who did show up. You couldn't get that for Biden. He had a 1,000-boat flotilla. You wouldn't even get drifting plywood for Biden. And so, J-Man! J-Man! I had a dream about you and Hillary. You and I were trying to prevent her from committing a first degree. J-Man! Oh my goodness. That's a nightmare. J-Man, thank you. J-Man, thank you very much. So, J-Man, but then what do you get? I know this is a long-winded point, but what do you get, ladies and gentlemen? What do you get for, type in Trump, CNN, Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump upset at Trump campaign manager. They were, oh my God, over his crowd size predictions. Oh my God. Dun dun dun. This is amazing. Don't you know he didn't get the crowd he wanted? Oh, we're going to cut him down to size. Oh, my goodness, Trump. He thought he was going to get the crowd size he wanted. Meanwhile, you have Durham investigating a whole cast of very corrupt, devious, conniving characters that were the basis of Trump Russia, that are going to be that basically were the reason that Democrats didn't dissolve and completely fracture into a million pieces, because they had something to fall back on. Do you understand? Trump is doing things that Democrats don't care about, but they're actually very important. And Democrats are focusing on crowd size. Before, it was the fact that he drank water in a manner they didn't like to try to make everything relative. Doug! J-Man, thank you. Doug Barner. Actually, they didn't buy fake Russian news and use the intelligence agencies. They didn't buy Russian fake news and use the intelligence agencies of 3 to 4 other countries Insurrection helped Joe Biden. God bless. Exactly. Doug Barnard, exactly. Jimmy from Philly. I got a channel. Say my name, Heisenberg. Jimmy from Philly. Okay. Okay. Heisenberg. Okay. Jimmy from Philly. Let's see. Jimmy from Philly. Let me see that channel. Let me see that channel right there. Okay. Oh, it's all right. Jimmy from Philly. Wally Pop. If Biden expects a standing room only rally, he need to have it. Lollipop. That's good. Lollipop. Yes. Doug Barnard. Lollipop. Exactly. Jimmy from Philly. Hello. Exactly. So, Lollipop, Jimmy from Philly, Doug, G-Man, Jasher. If you look, my long-winded point is the following. Kaylee Smith! Silent majority is growing every day. Oh, it definitely is. Why do I feel like this is 2016 all over again? It's just me. No, Kaylee, you're 100% right. Jimmy from Philly, profanity alert. Kaylee Smith, yeah, you're 100% right. Wally Pop said it. You would have to have a phone booth for a standing room only. That's beautiful, by the way. You'd have to have a phone booth. Oh, okay. It's the Breaking Bad scene. Okay. Jimmy from Philly, yes. That's funny. Kaylee Smith, it's 2016 all over again. But one of the things, and what you just said right now, and Wally Pop, you have New York Times, the president's shock at the rows of empty seats at his rally. This is the New York Times, CNN, Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump very upset at Trump campaign manager's rally prediction over crowd size. Their lives are dedicated to trying to cut Trump down to size. Do you understand? They are infatuated with Trump. See, the funny thing is with me, I want Madam Secretary to run every 4 years. If I could help the campaign somehow, her campaign, so she ran every 4 years, I would. I think it's fantastic. I think that Clinton being the nominee again, and then when she loses again to President Trump, she'll write what happened this time, part 2, and then, in 2024, she'll lose again, what happened yet again, what happened this time, yet again, another time. It'll just be the same book, okay? But Kaylee Smith, I agree with you. Alan Bomb 31458. Why do you maintain? What do you do to maintain sanity in dealing with the kook left? For me, it's prayer and hope that the kooks. That's funny. Will scare away the mainstream left. No, don't. The left, who knows what happens? I think don't take it seriously. I'm on 31458. I don't take it seriously. Because this is like only one side can sustain President Trump's campaign, and President Trump supporters are on the right side of history. Democrats have convinced themselves that they're on the right side of history, Trump's on the wrong side of history, but they're going to basically, they're in a cauldron of contempt. They're stuck in this cauldron of contempt that they've created, where just disliking Trump is a moral act. That's not healthy. That's not sustainable. And I'm on 31458, so don't worry about the left, but just, I think that the sanity should come from not taking it seriously at all. Because, just listen to one of Biden's speeches. How hilarious. It's better than comedians today. Adam on 34458, thank you as always. Stephen Harris, thank you, Stephen. Keep it up. Thank you, Stephen. Greatly appreciated. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Stephen. If you look, ladies and gentlemen, Stephen, thank you again. If you look, The Atlantic signs that Trump was furious in Oklahoma. This is The Atlantic. I'm trying to tell you something. Stephen, thank you again. Stephen Harris, old school dad, man. Rally had only 5 million plus online viewers. Time to rethink the message. Only had 5 million plus. There you go. There you go. And I wonder, how, live, was it like the live stream? Because the live stream had to have hundreds of thousands. There were probably numerous live streams. But old school dad man, November 3rd will be the biggest day in the history of the internet and YouTube. Be here November 3rd. I know you will. Kaylee Smith, you said it perfectly, along with Wally Pop. But ladies and gentlemen, my 16-minute point, you have to understand something. This is very important. Why is The Atlantic writing signs that Trump was furious? Do I care what Nancy Pelosi or if Biden? Well, Biden. First of all, you have to be lucid enough to be upset about something. So, but do I care if Madam Secretary is upset? It doesn't fill me with joy that she threw the Courvoisier bottle at Bill. Oh my goodness. It's Nolan Ryan. She's throwing the bottle at me. She threw a Bible at me also, and the bottle. A bottle and the Bible. Oh my goodness, honey, please. It's not my fault. She threw a Courvoisier bottle at Bill. The song is pass the Courvoisier, not throw it. So what do I care? Do I care? I also don't get when you the Jacob Javits. That's kind of amusing, but it's not it doesn't fill me with joy to see people. Trump. That's not going to fill me with joy. Now, the big payback, like James Brown. You talk 4 years. I'm viewing it like a sporting event almost. And because, the main thing is I want Americans home from never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts. That's what drives me, people. If President Trump was like Paul Ryan or Nancy Pelosi or Madam Secretary on that issue, I wouldn't be as passionate or vocal of a Trump supporter. I really wouldn't. Jimmy from Philly! UHB and others have inspired me to start my own things. Jimmy from Philly, you must. You must, because social media, if you have a voice, and I urge everyone, all 310 people watching, you have a voice, you have something to say. YouTube is a fantastic platform. Now, YouTube is going to be around for a very long time. Okay, social media sites like Twitter and Facebook are not. Okay, those are very vapid platforms that are not going to be around. I remember, ladies and gentlemen, this was a long time ago. This was a long time ago. And I was a young stockbroker, a financial advisor, and so really an older gentleman, very nice guy, really good guy. He had a big, nice office. We were talking about, stocks and the stock market and the history of the stock market. He was one of the brokers in the firm that I worked at, and he said, "You see that picture over there?" And it was a picture of E.F. Hutton. And he started talking about he started talking about how, and then it was a whole story, but he started talking about how it was the biggest brokerage firm in the world, and then it wasn't. And so, the moral of the story was, you can be on top, you could be seemingly omnipotent, and then the next day be, obsolete, no longer around. The moral of the story is that Twitter is very important to a lot of people now. So is Facebook. But every single day and every single month and every single year, their importance, they're not as important. And their influence lessens, decreases every single year. So, the point is, you want your voice and you want your ideas. If there's a platform to be on, there are a lot of platforms out there. But if your life is on social media and you say, I'm going to tweet this out, I'm going to go ahead on Facebook, no one's going to care about that. But if you're on video, YouTube is you have a YouTube channel. It's good. You can have a relationship, so to speak, with people who enjoy your viewpoint. And it's something that is not vapid, because you can actually have a conversation and you can actually discuss issues. Sam Change! This insanity will not change unless people are held accountable, full stop. I agree with you on that. People have to be held accountable. I do agree with you on that. I think that there are going to be people held accountable. I really do. I think there's enough evidence. There's enough public record evidence. You have this, Sam. I think that once you get 2 elections in a row, the media then slithers towards the people in charge. So do the intelligence community. What Democrats have done, Sam and everyone here, loud citizen! I often tweet that Hillary will be the nominee. Everyone stares and blinks. No clue that Biden cannot possibly be the intended nominee. Loud citizen, when it happens, this is going to be it'll be an amazing day, and it's going to take place. And the reason, loud citizen, is that Sam and everybody here, they can't possibly fathom any transfer of political power and influence from Biden to Clinton. It will happen. I don't know how it's going to happen. Even I don't know how it's going to happen, but that's the thing. They don't know how it's going to happen. Jimmy from Philly, I'm regularly banned by FB and Twitter, and never by YouTube. Exactly. Because on Twitter and Facebook, this is the thing. They're not going to, do people know what they wrote on MySpace 15 years ago? That MySpace platform is no longer around. So, Jimmy from Philly, thank you. Loud citizen, they can't fathom. They simply can't fathom a transfer of political power. They can't. It's going to happen, though. But they can't fathom. They can't fathom that transfer. It's going to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it will. I mean, you look every day, there are just 2 people in the Democratic Party that really count right now. It's Madam Secretary and Biden. Then you have these hilarious fact-checking, like, why are there so many of these? Like, USA Today has a fact-check, It's like, regarding Clinton. Nobody really, the only people that would gravitate towards, I'm not even going to get into it. When Clinton becomes nominee, you have to understand it's going to be an amazing, amazing week on this channel. Sam and Loud Sis and everybody, but they're not going to miss. They're not going to even blink. They're not. They're going to actually. It's the only chance they have to create some buzz around the Democratic Party. Everyone's sleeping on the Democratic Party side. They're worried about embarrassing Trump. Their lives are predicated upon making sure Trump is embarrassed. You cannot win that way. You cannot win in life. You cannot win in politics. You can't even achieve. You can't. Not only can you not achieve any objectives, but you can't possibly function as a healthy adult if your life is predicated upon insulting other people. Especially when those people don't care. Like, people would try to mock me or denigrate me. What do I care what they think? I kind of learned this in kindergarten and high school or middle school. You learn this. Of course, you don't like to be, of course it's not a great feeling, but at the end of the day, you get over it. You don't like, and then you become impervious to it. Initially, I remember when I first was, when I was on the left and first kind of, nobody really knows who I am, but some people do. And so when they were trying to, I was like, no, I'm not voting for Clinton ever. Oh my God. And then they would write the hit pieces. And then they would try to silence me. Then they would try to insult me. Initially I was like, wait, why are they doing this? So it got to me initially, but then I was like, these people are the biggest buffoons and imbeciles on the planet. I'm actually very happy that they find that they don't realize that I have even more disdain for them than they have for me. So their dislike of me is like, whatever, that's actually good. I'm glad you don't like me. It actually got to a point where in 2016, people were like, oh my God, ain't shit Batman. And I was like, oh good, that's good. It's fantastic. And then when President Trump won, I was like, aha, you probably should have listened. Now I'm actually voting for President Trump because he stands for reversing U.S. foreign policy. I don't think that people understand that, nor do they care. They just don't care. They don't care. They don't care about that. They're still, their lives will be traumatized. And think about, I don't think they understand the ladies and gentlemen, this is a kind of an important issue. I don't think they understand the iceberg or the cliff or whatever. I don't think they understand where they're heading, because they're not going to win on November 3rd. They're not. They might not even get the voter turnout to make it close, so they could cheat. Yeah, of course there's an issue with cheating, but it has to be close. They've spent 3 months saying that if you leave your house, you're going to spontaneously combust. So, and then you have everything going on with $1.4 billion in property loss throughout the country. That's one estimate by an insurance publication. Then you have people voting on the economy, and all the polls, and I believe Jasher was talking about this in his message, all the polls were, when asked, who are you voting for in terms of the economy? People say Trump. Then you get this, you get these New York Times journalists like, Trump is the biggest, most horrible, bigot on the planet, all this stuff, and they're like, then it's like, well, if you think Trump is that way, what do you think of Joe Biden? Because if you don't think Joe Biden is infinitely worse for actually working with segregationists and writing the crime bill and making the you ain't comment and making other comments over the years and helping and working alongside Madam Secretary and President Obama to actually, in a failed NATO intervention, to destroy a country in Libya, how do you not, if you think that Trump is this horrible person, do you then think Biden's a good person? And then if you think Biden is a good person despite his litany of horrible statements and actions, especially on the issue, on a whole bunch of issues that Democrats are obsessed about, then your vantage point is just, you don't really have a vantage point. You're just a political operative. You're just a Democratic Party operative. That's it. You see things one way because it suits you politically, but you don't utilize the same standard or value system to judge your own political side. So there you go. That's one of the reasons they'll lose. Jasher! June 2016 presidential poll showed Hillary with the same 13-point lead they are assigning to Joe. Media expects to believe Joe is polling the same as HRC. Exactly. Jasher, one thing they have to do, Jasher, is they have to keep the belief that they're in the driver's seat, that they're ahead, that they're that they're in a great position to defeat President Trump, because they cannot. They have no momentum with Biden. They know this. They have no momentum with Biden. Nobody, I'm sure, in their heart of hearts on the left, I mean, they might think, but nobody truly believes that Biden's going to be nominee. They might believe he's going to be nominee, but the closer it gets to the convention, you're going to see articles in the New York Times and the Washington Post and other, hey, maybe we need Hillary. Because she's the only chance they have. So, in either, Biden wouldn't even win the popular vote. He would get 0 voter turnout. 0. And the only reason he got voter turnout with Bernie is because the Democrats have more contempt for Bernie Sanders than they do for President Trump. Jasher, thank you again. Parabiology 101! Can't wait for her to be nominated. It will be such a great party here. It will. I argue politics with people on a lot of other channels and telling me prediction. Thank you, Parabiology 101. Thank you. It is going to be amazing. It is going to be amazing. If there wasn't like the copyright issue, I'd play the MC Breed, Ain't No Future in Your Frontin'. I'd play that song like a whole way through before I start my... Because this is the MC Breed election. Ain't no future in you. That's all they were doing. That's all they were doing for 3 years is front, pretending they're something they're not. The only future they have is frontin'. That's their new single. And frontin' is our only future. That's their single. But Parabiology 101, thank you so much. Thank you for always watching. And it's going to happen. I'm literally the only person on YouTube saying this out of 33 million channels, so it's gonna be fun. On this channel, like Jay Goodman's other channel, it's gonna be fun. But I think that if you look. This is a New York Times Mueller report details highlight Trump's interest in emails damaging the Clinton. What about maybe evidence of criminal activity, no? Yeah, they don't want to talk about that. That's not it. Every single thing. Oh, this is great. These two graphs show why Biden has a better chance against Trump than Hillary had. Okay. Okay. These two... This is hilarious. So, he's up 9 now. Whereas before, on June 18th, Madam Secretary was only up 5. See, because 9 is greater than 5. Don't you see now? Not a 10 is greater than 5. We learned this on Sesame Street. Count Chocula. 9 is greater than 5. Mwah. Todd Rubel! I traveled east this week and stopped at the Joe Biden rest stop in Delaware. It may be his only... Yeah! Todd Rubel, hello. Yes. Sparky! No bandwagon effect without a bandwagon, exactly. Noble victory, thank you. Noble victory, thank you. No PhD Coyote, hello. AJ Revere Lantern Collection Channel. That's so awesome. The Paul Revere Lantern Collection Channel. Nice. Could you imagine what those would be worth? Todd Rubel, that is awesome. Sparky, thank you. Noble victory, thank you. There's an article here. These two graphs show why. First of all, the media is apoplectic and hysterical all the time. You've never seen. I don't understand why polls don't take into account the obsession media has with undermining and taking down Trump. Now, to the left, people are like, well, the media is just objective. They just see Trump as a monster. What's the problem? That's the way they... You got to understand, ladies and gentlemen, the way they think is that the media is objective, but Trump is such a monster. They have no choice but to report in such a manner. Keely Smith. I'm Joe Biden. Corn Pop was bad. No malarkey. Come on, man. You know the deal, man. You know what? If they ever went with Biden and he lost, his concession speech would be, come on, man. I mean, come on, man. You know the deal. Trump worked with Russia. Again. Come on, man. Kaylee Smith, thank you. Kaylee Smith, thank you so very much. What is going to happen? What is going to happen, ladies and gentlemen, when they lose again? What is going to happen when they lose again? They've taken every word, every statement out of context. They have engaged in the most unethical, nonsensical, irrational politics, journalism. That's all they do. Jimmy from Philly. Kaylee Smith, thank you again. Jimmy from Philly lived in Bidenville, Scranton. Most of the women don't have. What's that? Crystal meth, improper. One benefit, 2 men, 0 scrappage. Jimmy from Philly. Well, it's Biden country. Nano Horizon, hello. Yeah, that's gonna be Jimmy from Philly. Thank you as always. What's going to happen when they lose again? Who knows what's going to happen? The interesting thing is that at the end of the day, I would say most are not going to look in the mirror. They're just going to pretend that nothing changed, and they're going to try to say that Trump cheated again. But then you're going to see something interesting. You're going to see people not paying attention to their maniacal banter anymore. So you have, so the polls now on June 18th, 2020, it's like almost like Biden has a 10-point lead. And in June 18th, 2016, Hillary had a 6-point lead. And everybody knows, Count Chocula stated, that 10 is bigger than 6. More. It's like, that didn't work out well last time. You focused on the national lead. You have to win the Electoral College. Then they're going to say, do away with the Electoral College. They're going to try to do away with the Electoral College. You would need 2/3 of Congress. Two-thirds of the House, 2/3 of the Senate. You would have to have an amendment to do away with the Electoral College. They can't even get a Medicare for all through, and they don't even want to. But you're gonna see when they lose again, because I don't know if they realize, like, okay, they have their convention coming up, their convention will be a laughingstock, because they're not going to go with Biden, because and even the DNC spokeswoman's like, we're not nominating Biden, and nobody believed it. Even I didn't believe that she meant to say that at first. Then I'm like, wait, she actually said that. I'm sure she meant it. So, hello, Rhonda. Hello. And then, yeah, exactly. 3/4 of state legislatures. There's two ways to go ahead and add an amendment. Forgot exactly like the differences between the two ways, but Trump was really furious. This is the Atlantic. What do I care? In NBC News, Trump was furious about underwhelming crowd. Yeah, go ahead and just you wait for the crowd. You wait for the enthusiasm gap on November 3rd, where you have like Hollywood celebrities. Please don't remove American democracy. Don't destroy our country. Please, this is a public service announcement from 90s. Be celebrities, be movie celebrities, and sitcoms that were popular 30 years ago. I can't wait for the public service announcements telling you not to vote for Trump. They're so amazing. I'm here to tell you, you remember me from a sitcom 30 years ago, and I'm here to tell you, think before you vote. Don't allow Trump monster to rule the country again, or else we won't have a country to go to. Old school dad man! When Joe announces VP 1124. Exactly. He'll have a 20-point lead, and they'll be like, as you can see, 20 points is more than 6 points. We have a 20-point lead now. Before, we only had a 6-point lead with Madam Secretary. But you're going to have Madam Secretary. Pretty soon, Biden's "you ain't" comment was supposed to have tanked his campaign, but now they're just waiting. He's going to do something to absolutely tank the campaign. Now they're just doing the usual with the subtitles on the ads and all that stuff. Hillary Clinton is going to be nominee, and when it happens, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be an amazing time on this channel. I will have made the biggest political call of all time. The biggest political call of all time, ladies and gentlemen. And you have to understand also, like I keep telling everyone this, they're not going to bat an eye. They're not going to skip a beat. They're not going to flinch. It's going to just they're not going to skip a beat. Do you understand? Carol Callahan! Carol! HA, do the thing. You know the thing. You know the thing. This is when he was remember, everybody here, he called one of the voters a liar. Lying pony soldier. I mean, it's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. It is absolutely unbelievable that they don't, like, if you had Trump going into like these long you know the thing, come on, man, you know the thing. Carol Callahan, thank you. Did you know the thing? If you had President Trump going into like this, like, endless diatribes and nobody knows what he's talking about, I mean, it would be endless coverage. They sweep it under the rug for Biden. And you know the thing, man. You know the thing. Carol, thank you. Thank you, Carol. Thank you very much. Jimbo! Celebrities jumped the shark when they promised to leave last time. I know. Jimmy from Philly, can Joe do me a favor and tell me when HRC takes over? I would like him to do me a favor too. Jimbo, I know they're still here, which is kind of annoying. Exactly, Jimbo. Thank you. They're just waiting. We'll see. I mean, we have all of July. We have the rest of June, all of July. And then you have the beginning of August. August 18th. I mean, you have basically 2 months before the future of the Democratic Party. Before Madam Secretary takes the mantle and everyone says, well, I knew it. And nobody knows it now. I am the only person telling you that Hillary Clinton's going to be nominated. She's the only chance they have. And I called this in 2017. It will be the biggest political call of all time. And I'm telling you that MSNBC, CNN, the New York Times, the Washington Post are not going to skip a beat. They're going to be like, well, Biden's doing well, but, if you look at this new poll, Clinton's up by 30,000. 30,000? She's up by 30,000 points. How is that even possible? She just is. She'll be up by 50 points. Why aren't I 50 points ahead, you might ask? Carol Callahan, thank you. Jimbo. It's going to Eric H526, Luke St. Martin, thank you. We haven't even reached the level of mania. When Trump wins again, it is going to be amazing. It'll be like this. They're going to do the same thing. Good job, America. Good job. You voted for a monster. We've told you 4 years in a row he was a monster. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, the admonishment. The reprimand will be like, you voted again for Trump. Oh my God. Oh my God. Luke St. Martin, Eric H526, thank you. Kaylee Smith. What about the most recent virtue signaling of them tried? I take responsibility. I don't know who half of you are, but thanks for playing. The I take responsibility. Oh, that's right. Is that, are you talking about Kaylee? Are you talking about the public service announcements? Those are the best. I'm telling you, Jericho Green, subscribe to his channel. He's fantastic. I was listening to Jericho Green when I had a Twitter account 2 years back. He's awesome. He has a great segment on the public service announcements. But Kaylee, yeah, it's really bizarre too. Why would I care what 90s celebrities think about anything? Or any celebrity? Why would I care? Can you just entertain? That's why late night talk shows are so lame now. Why would I care? That's the question. Wally Pop! Kaylee, thank you. Wally Pop! President Trump was the only president in history who was impeached by the House, exonerated by the Senate, and reelected by a landslide. Exactly. Epic. It is going to be epic. It's actually going to show the left how useless the Democratic Party is, because they were hysterical and apoplectic for 4 years, 3 years, 3.5 years, and they retweeted President Trump into 8 years. It's going to be fantastic. It will be fantastic. Wally Pop, thank you so very much. Wally Pop. They're going to retweet President Trump into 2 terms. It's going to be amazing. Sparky! You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier is from, a John Wayne movie, Adolescent Biden. I didn't even know that. And Friends likely amuse themselves with this line after see this. Exactly. Oh my God. Exactly. Exactly. Sparky. I didn't know that. Sparky, thank you. Wally Pop, Kaylee, Jimmy from Philly. Oh, that's right. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be part of a newsletter, all 450 to 500 people, just say, email me at contactgoodman78@gmail.com. I'll be doing a newsletter that you could be a part of. Wally Pop, thank you again, Wally Pop. So if anybody wants to be a part of a newsletter that I send out, it's just my email is contactgoodman78@gmail.com. Jimmy from Philly sent you a video of me on the ground. Cool. Reporting for HBO. Oh, nice. On the first Saturday night in CC in Philly. Nice. I got better stuff than the MSN reporters. I have to check. I haven't checked, but I will check, and I'm sure I did. Jimmy from Philly, thank you. Thank you. Jimmy from Philly, thank you very much. I'm sure you do. I'm sure you have better stuff than the MSM reporters. Ladies and gentlemen, think about how amazing it's going to be. President Trump is not going to lose, but let's say he lost. You could say, well, look, he fought a system for 4 years. The media was devoted every single second of the day to trying to take him down. He had intelligence chiefs, corrupt officials trying to take him down. Democrats, Hollywood. He's going up against everybody. The man's going up against everybody. So if he were to lose, he's not going to lose. But if he were to lose, you could easily say, look, the fact that he got 4 years, it's pretty amazing. He's not going to lose. He ain't going to lose. But if Democrats lose again, what are they going to say? We spent 4 years spewing the most vile venom, and all we got is this T-shirt that says Hillary 2020? What are they going to say? What can they possibly say? What can they possibly say? They're not going to say anything. Oh, do the Keebler. Jasher! Do the Keebler elf. I can't. I have Trumpy. Hi, Trumpy. How are you? Oh, trust me. Tell everybody to trust me. I'm such a good person. I'm on message boards all the time telling people to trust me. Jasher. Well, if that's the way you feel, then don't ever call me again if you think William Barr's better than me. I tried, Jasher. I'm trying. Jasher, thank you so very much. It is going. Think about it this way, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Jasher. The Keebler elf. Thank God he's no longer around. The Justice Department. Think about what's going to happen. November 3rd. You have two political ideologies. Well, I should say President Trump and the same people he went up against in 2015 and 2016 are going to go at it again. And Trump's going to defeat them again. And they're going to lose again. So now, what are they going to tell? What could they possibly tell their donors, their supporters, their side, all the different factions that don't even like Democrats? What could they possibly tell? What are they going to say? That's the question. Yeah. Animal 3458. I take responsibility, but I didn't really know how it's offensive. It worked. Yeah, that line that people are saying that I actually that's a very bizarre That's a very bizarre statement from wealthy Hollywood liberals. Thank you. Animal 3458, as always, thank you. It's a very bizarre statement. The public service announcements are horrendous. Animal 3458, thank you. Oh, there's a parody, too. This is hilarious. But even the left is this is so funny. Like, the question is, why would anyone care what a celebrity thinks about anything? Why would I care? Why on earth would I care? And if you had nothing to do with that cause, and then suddenly, and I'm on 3 and 4, 5, 8, thank you. And then suddenly you start focusing on that. The question is, okay, well, are you trying to pander and just make yourself relevant? The quicker flipper picker-upper! Dems know they can't win, so they're using mail-in ballots to put the blame on voters if they lose. I agree with you. They also, the quicker flipper picker-upper, I agree with you. They also want a chance at counting the votes. That's also something they want as well. I think that the quicker flipper picker-upper and everybody here, I really think that they had a chance. They had a chance about if you watch this channel, about 2 months ago. Every day I was like, yeah, Hillary Clinton could win this. I'd give her like 10, then 15, then 20, then 25, then 30. I think I even went as high as 35% chance. I was really worried because there was a moment where Democrats could have stated something that actually would have helped them win. I'm actually going to give them, like, none of them would ever listen to me. So, and that moment has passed, but they could have said, look, it's not, none of this is President Trump's fault, but we'll offer something better. And you might like President Trump or you might dislike us, but look what's taking place. Nobody's really happy. Might not be Trump's fault, but nobody's happy. And it might not have been his fault, but you know what? He mismanaged a couple things, and we would have done a better job, and here's what we're offering. If they tried to craft that type of message, and if they didn't hide behind the absurd notion that Biden would be nominee, and they said, look, you know what? You know, Biden, he resigned. Here's Hillary. And then nobody would care. Like, the notion that they would really care, they already cheated Bernie Sanders. But if they were just honest, they could have done a lot. I think at the end of the day, the Democratic Party will dissolve into different factions. Or I should say, different factions are going to break off because they're going to find the futility in standing with Democrats. There's just futility in standing with Democrats. Like, the Democratic Party demands allegiance. But if they don't win, what are they going to do? So here you get like TikTok, reserve Trump tickets, people with no plans to go. Oh my God. It's like, yeah, but people did you had hundreds of thousands of people who did sign up. So their lives revolve around trying to denigrate Trump. That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. People, if you want to support my voice long term, my Patreon is below in the pinned comment to my super chat. Thank you very, very, very much for your support. I'll be back at like around 11. I always say that and it's a little later, but I'm going to try my best to be around 11 tonight. And people, thanks so much. I have a great segment on H.A. Goodman's other channel right now. So please go ahead and check out H.A. Goodman's other channel in about, let's say, 10 minutes. So check out H.A. Goodman's other channel in 10 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to be part of a newsletter, upcoming newsletter this year, email me at contactgoodman78@gmail.com. I'll be back in a couple of hours, people. Luke St. Martin, Eric H526, thank you so much. Everyone, thank you. God bless. Happy Father's Day, everyone. And this was fantastic. Great live stream. I'll see you all very soon in a couple of hours on this channel. Thank you. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel right now. I have a segment. Great.